Yeah, I'm good on that one.
But so to some, I shouldn't say
Yeah, you
good
should.
news, but President Trump. So we're at the last witching hour. We got one more day, but before then, and we did not get a chance to talk about this last week. We had some problems at the Capitol. Everybody's seen it. If you didn't see it, I don't know where you live or what rock you were under. But a lot of things came out of it, man. One, two, three, four people in the Dallas area, DZ, have been arrested who were at the Capitol, including a lady who is a um, realtor. She believes that she should not be arrested. She was invited to the Capitol and that President Trump should pardon her. I don't know what type of invitation you need to break out windows, but hey, here we are. So, I want to get you guys' opinion on the riots. Last week we were going to talk about the impeachment, but that's neither here nor there right now. But if you feel the need to say something about that too, go for it. So, J Rock, we're going to start with you. Then, DZ, you take it from there. What's your opinion on the riots, the people's reaction, like that lady I talked about, and what you think about the impeachment?
I mean, it's privilege, like by definition. Like you knew exactly what you went there for. Like
Mm-hmm.
so, and again, it just goes back, like I was saying, like we were saying about the reporting. Like, so you go to the Capitol. Well, first off, you upset about democracy playing out, which the country is supposedly built on and all this. So you go there, what starts out as what's supposed to be a protest, you now jumping walls, scaling buildings like you Spider-Man, busting windows, all that. And then when it hits the news, what did they say? Oh, they're patriots. I'm like, okay, so let's patriots. So let's dabble in this word. So you got the Capitol, which that's like sacred ground for your government. So you break in, you vandalize it, you stealing stuff, you got confidential information, all kind of stuff. What about that is patriotic? Because I'm totally confused. But then there's no officers and all that, but you have to go there. You got Black Lives Matter standing in the street, and you got SWAT and officers shoulder to shoulder on those same steps that these people marched up, to get in this building. So I mean, I think, man, they did exactly what they planned on doing. I think the because I know it's one guy in Memphis who's been arrested, and I know like two or three in that. I think I've heard like two or three in Nashville. But I think they did exactly what they planned on doing. I think they honestly thought, like in previous history, nothing will happen to them, and they got a surprise. So now it's like they've been called on their actions. So now, of course, the only play is to play the victim role. But as you said, if I invite you to my house, I would hope you're not gonna kick in my front door and bust my windows to come in. Like that makes zero sense to me. So I mean,
Yeah,
I think I
they
think
thought
I
they
think
were
it's just backpedaling now. I think everything played out exactly how it's supposed to. This Donald Trump, the president, literally got on TV and incited it, called it, planned it. It happened, and then when as they say, when the stuff hit the fan, he went sat back and hit behind his security and watched all y'all get locked up and all that. So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
ignorance has a cost. Well, stupidity. That's more stupidity. The
Definitely
stupidity
stupidity.
has a cost. That's all I got to say.
Well, um, yeah, I agree pretty much. I mean, for me, the craziest things were the cops taking selfies with people, like just opening, not like getting knocked back, like literally like opening the gate and stepping aside, watching people go in. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
That
just
just
waiting for
seemed
me.
that that just seemed crazy to me. You know what I mean? I just change the pigment in the color of those people's skin and see what happened. We know what happened. Just being real. It was sad, but I am glad that they going back and arresting people because I think it's hilarious to watch these people on the news beg basically for pardons and pretend like they didn't know what was going on when they got video of them inside. Like this lady talking about the one from Texas, one of the ones, she's like from Grapevine or somewhere. She's like, I mean, it was peaceful. You know, we didn't really do anything that crazy. And they got literally video of her like walking into the the House of Representatives room or whatever. I can't remember what it's called now, but you know, it was just it's cool to me to at least watch them get what they deserve from it. Because I'd much rather watch them go to jail than to watch them get maced. That's way more fun for me.
The guy with the zip ties.
Price, what you think?
Well, you know, go ahead, Vito.
Man, so this to me, I got a couple things, and like I said, I try not to be long-winded about it, but I'm plugged into it a lot because I watch it all the time, and I just, you know, I like to keep abreast of what's going on. Like what the fella said was absolutely correct. But one point I wanted to make was that, you know, a lot of times Black people get a lot of pushback about things about racism not existing. Talking about, oh, you got to play the Black card and all this type of things like that. So now what I want to do is challenge those white people that had those feelings to look at what's right in front of them. You have an enormous amount of people that are willing to try to overtake your democracy, to disrespect your constitution, all these things you hold sacred. And they have people on the inside. A lot of times people don't realize, like police officers, military, pastors, things like that, people like that you hold to a higher regard, to a higher standard, they forget that they're human. So it's not surprising to me that police was letting them in, because it's the same dude that go home and sit in the same meetings with these guys. So, you know, while you saying racism doesn't exist and it's over spouted, I've seen people in Congress say that. And it's amazing to me that you see this stuff right in front of you now, and you don't have more people standing up and not necessarily apologizing, but at least acknowledging it. To that point, just think about, like Deezy said, if the shoe was on the other foot. So I'm gonna give you an example of the shoe being on the other foot, except it's gonna be a peaceful protest. When a guy sat on one knee to talk about police brutality, he been blackballed ever since. You can't hear from Cap unless it's in a sentence with him not playing the game that he loves to play. Peaceful protest. What was being said? Oh, he's disrespecting the flag. He's disrespecting our military. But guess what? If you watch the Capitol riots, you see people hitting people over the head that look like them with the flag. If that ain't disrespecting the flag, what is? On top of that, not only was, you know, this peaceful protest, these people sitting on the Senate and the House floor with the pens and papers and taking pictures. Bro, if that ain't disrespect, what is? So while we talking about Kaepernick and how Black people, man, white people, take a look around. These are your people. These are these people that look like you, and they fighting you to continue to oppress us. So we in the middle and the brink of a freaking civil war, bro. And to me, more people should be standing up and acknowledging the fact that we were wrong. There is a problem here. This needs to be fixed. We can't fix it with one dude being elected president. We got to look inside as Black people and start to be more endearing to our own people. We have to look inside and say, economic improvement is the only thing that's going to save us. Figure out how we're going to do that. And on top of that, bro, just sticking together in general and understanding one election, two, three, four, five elections within your city ain't gonna change it. bro, Martin Luther King dead, Malcolm X dead, all these people are dead, and they was fighting for what we have right now. Yet and still, we still the most intelligent thing these people got to say on the news is what Abraham Lincoln said. Man, Abraham Lincoln was a slave owner, and he dead. If we gotta depend on this and the Constitution to bring us out of where we at, we in trouble. So we got to bring ourselves out. And that it light a fire under me, bro. All right, I'm gonna pass it on, bro. I preach all day.
Well stated, bro. Well stated. Price, what you think, man?
Well, obviously my opinion is a little bit different. But I agree with everything that was said. I think those people should be arrested. I think it was a terroristic act. And I think that it's a representation of where America is today. The political divisiveness between, quote unquote liberals and conservatives is just at an all-time high. Now, I will say, however, that I think with the cops, though, I think they probably were instructed to move out of the way, because I don't feel like whoever represents the Capitol cops or whomever it was, I don't think that they were prepared or realized that was what was about to.
I don't want to interrupt you. I'm gonna be quick. So with that, I didn't even get to state it, but with that, what happened was, for one, they are reviewing everybody that's on those Capitol Guards right now. So, but what happened was, if everybody know that Trump did not get the National Guard there in time because he didn't call them.
Right.
But the cops and stuff like that, they all being investigated by the FBI. 2 have been pulled off of patrol right now. So there are some people inside, but the reason why there wasn't enough people there is because they never asked for them to be there, because they felt no need, even though they had intelligence that there was going to be this massive number of people there. But I guess they was like, well, they white, they ain't going to cause that much trouble.
I was just about to say that goes into what they see as a threat.
Right.
It goes even deeper.
But they ain't have.
I'm sorry to even
they did have
that.
a point, have a choice in some cases. So not all of them were bad, but yeah.
Yeah, but still, so I think that, but I was just speaking to the point of why they moved out the way. In my
what about
opinion,
the ones that are like this though?
Yeah, but see, so now I can't say what those people's political views were, but it looked pretty obvious with the way they was trying to get people just to come on in, But I do feel like they were instructed, don't try to hold them, because it probably would have made the situation.
Price, I think that they had already been breached, and it was just dope. Because if you look at some of those videos, some of them you can see people on the other side, like already on the steps, already at the door. So I keep that side.
Right.
That wasn't breached though. They let them in.
So
when they came in,
video where they're opening the gates and letting people in, but
even if that was the case, though, it was obvious that there weren't enough cops to hold back all of those people. So if I'm the guy in charge, I'm going to try to protect my cops or my people and say, hey, just let them through, because you can't stop them anyway. The last thing you want to happen is one of them cops to get to the point where which they may have done if it was a reverse, which we all understand, but get to shooting or shoot somebody trying to hold them back. And now you got mayhem,
I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I think there's a difference between letting them go and opening the gate.
So what's the difference? How do you stop?
It should have never happened.
How would you stop that though?
I mean, but if you just pull the gate out the way, then you just like literally opening the gates. I mean, at least make them trip over. Maybe you stop some of them. I mean, walk away.
I think that once again, I think that was them being instructed. Don't try to hinder this, because there are already people that have already passed you. We don't have enough security or guard or people out here to stop.
Which is the problem.
Which is the problem. Absolutely. Which is the problem. Just go ahead and let them through. My last point, I'll let y'all get on. Y'all probably not going to agree with me, but it's my thoughts on it. I do not like the coverage of this, and I'm going to tell you why. So, and I mentioned this previously when we had a discussion about it. In Seattle, during Black Lives Matter, there was a 2 to 3 week period, maybe even more than that, where that particular 2-block radius or 3-block radius or whatever it was basically taken. People had taken over the block, like, and the entire time the media was calling it a peaceful protest. But there's nothing peaceful about taking over a block and not allowing anybody in that block for 2 to 3 weeks. That's just as terroristic, in my opinion, as what happened at Capitol Hill.
Oh, bro.
So, no, hold on a second. So you have to call a spade in my view.
That's an
let me get up in there too.
That's a club and a spade.
You have to call a spade, and I don't agree with the coverage of not calling it both ways the exact same way if you're gonna do that. Because then what you're doing is you are adding fuel to that disenfranchised person who feels like they being disenfranchised. You're doing exactly that with your coverage. In my opinion.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that Black Lives Matter had any bad, like anything said about them that was bad? Because they did. I'm just asking because I mean, you talking about one instance and comparing one instance with taking over a block versus a nigga busting up in the Capitol building. Like, man, that ain't even apples to apples. That ain't even apples to oranges.
So
you just
like, let me get up in there.
So just taking over a block and literally kicking the police out and taking over a block is not terroristic in your eyes.
So the reason why I say hold on, James. The reason why I say it's not even close. The reason why I say it's not even close is because niggas over there in Saudi Arabia ain't looking like, man, them niggas done took over a block in Seattle. They over there looking like, man, these niggas done took over the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. And they looking at, man, these niggas is weak, man.
Right. So the scope is obviously larger. The scope is obviously large.
So that's the problem.
Is obviously large.
But go ahead, James.
But the act is
so
still
here. So if this is y'all first time tuning in, Price is always with the semantics. First of all, I wouldn't even gonna start there, but since you put that last point out there, I gotta start it first there. So the Seattle takeover, y'all remember, true. It was a lot of protesters, this and that, it got violent, whatever, and they stayed their ground. What happened then was the mayor designated that area to say, okay, protesters, y'all can stay in this area as long as y'all stay in this area. To the point where other nonprofit organizations came from out of state and around, set up camp to have food service. They had COVID testing. They had all kinds of other services. So it wasn't a takeover. They blocked it off to say, look, instead of you running amok around the whole city, we're gonna put y'all down here.
I'm not gonna allow you to do that. I'm not gonna allow you to make it look like. I'm not gonna allow you to make it look like the mayor was just
no.
You know what?
I'm not sitting here to say it, but just the same way you sit there and said that they kind of just let the people go because they were outnumbered was the same kind of tactic that mayor had. It's like we're not gonna beat them back with force because they're not going anywhere. So instead of pushing them back, why don't we just make a containment to be where, look, y'all stay down here, and as long as y'all down here, we don't got no problems. But as soon as y'all step out, then you're gonna be subject to all the other stuff as far as what we're doing for us cracking down on protesting.
Yeah,
James, let me ask you this though. Dang, man, my stuff done froze. Can you hear me? James, can you hear me?
Yeah, we
oh, my bad. My giant froze up for a second. So let me ask you a question.
And then I want to get back to the Capitol too, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's the same. It's about the same thing. So this is in reference to price. So, okay, the people at the Capitol building had gallows, they had weapons, they had all the above. And I'm gonna ask you, what were they fighting for versus what the Black Lives Matter people were fighting for? I ain't want to talk about force or how they got it and what they took over. You tell me which one of those causes make more sense, or at least don't deserve a bullet or a bullet, however you want to see it. However you want to see it. I'm just asking you a question.
This for me or Jane?
Man, both of y'all can answer. Then make it brief so Jane get back, man.
Briefly, I'll just say it. So once again, it comes to one of those things you have to view it from the either perspective or the perspective of the actual person. you gotta view it from the person who is actually protesting. So obviously, we all agree with Black Lives Matter, what they were promoting, what they were pushing. But these people who are at the Capitol feel just as intense about what it is that they protesting, what it is that they believe in. So that,
Of
you know,
course.
you can't, I mean, to honestly just outright just say what I believe in is right, what you believe in is wrong.
Is
Well,
wrong.
in
And
my
I'm gonna tell you
opinion,
why.
not right.
It's not a belief.
Appreciate it, Price. So, but what I would say to that is, with Black Lives Matter, just like how you saying, we have something tangible that we can see on our phones every other week. Somebody getting gunned down, shot down, this and that. What they went to this Capitol to do was based off of lies. So their views and their beliefs is steeped in lies. So any and everything that they say at that point is non-valid, because you're not fighting for anything, you're fighting for a lie. And based
So you know
off of what been parroted from the president on down to members of Congress.
But you know what that sounds like? What you just said sounds like the exact same thing that I hear from people who don't support Black Lives Matter and what they say. It sounds like the exact same thing. Like, what they saying, well, what you believe is a lie. Like, what you push.
Do you
I guess
have
it goes back to
evidence of
tangibility,
voter
being
support?
tangible.
Do you have evidence of votes being changed or illegals being voted for or him winning Pennsylvania? Do you have any evidence of that? But do you have evidence of a dude getting shot down in front of his kids?
Right. But I
Or
don't
black
believe
people.
but I don't believe that's why everybody, but I don't believe that's solely why everybody was out there.
Semantics.
At
We're
Capitol
talking
Hill.
about the overall view, though.
Bruh, they were
I don't
there
think
to
overall
stop the
view was-
steal. That was the whole thing. It was called Stop the Steal. They were
Right, but
stealing the votes.
I don't believe
That's what
I
they
don't
were there
believe-
for.
No, but I don't
talking
believe that was the
about
whole
Seattle.
sentiment of why people were there.
But
I believe
okay,
they
so
feel like
here's
they're
my segue
disenfranchised,
into the other
like,
reason why they
people
were
are
there.
people are trying to kill the, in their eyes, a conservative agenda. They're trying to kill it completely, and the liberal media is basically taking over. I believe that's what they thought.
Because so what you just said was, again, a lie that's been fed to them because they don't want to accept the fact that people are being more progressive than them and they lost an election, and now because they lost that said election, they feel because everything is going to the left, then everything is blown up for them. They lost their identity, they lost this and that.
We being real nice about what they fighting for. I'll say that. We being real nice.
Come back for a part two of this one, y'all. But J-Rock, man, what you think, man? You've been heading on a lot, man.
Man, I didn't even get to say my other part. Messing around with Price.
Man, I spoke my
Nah, say your other part, bro. Say your other part.
No.
Go ahead, bro.
And that was just my thing. It's just for, and I'll say this real quick. What we missing through all of this, and again, getting down to semantics, but really, bro, on a bigger plane than this junk was playing, bro. And it's playing even higher than what we thinking as far as just some protesters, some hillbillies. They got drunk and they went in there, bro. They've talked about.
But they had delegates there.
They had delegates. They had tours before the day of the run-in. They haven't had tours since March. So how weird is that to have a tour all of a sudden the day before this?
They know where to go.
You know, you got senators and congressmen calling to pretty much kill these people. Like in their words, all the dog whistles they use, like you were saying, they killing conservatism, this and that. If they're gonna kill our conservatives, we gotta kill them before they kill us. That's pretty much what they were saying. That's what them boys went down there to do. And to think anything past that, I mean, they even have reports where they talking about they done took out the panic buttons in these people's thing. All this coordinated. We go back to the Capitol Police. The reason why it wasn't enough Capitol Police, the guy who's over the Capitol Police, they switched the shifts around to have less people. There's people that actually are testifying right now that said they volunteered to come in because they wanted more money for a paycheck for overtime, and they got denied.
Facts.
We have the director of national intelligence getting a call from the vice president and the House majority leader to deploy the National Guard, and he's telling them, I can't do it because I have to get that authority from the president, and nobody can reach the president right now. Bro, this whole thing was planned. So to think that bro. They had zip ties and some more junk, bro. To think this is just some hillbillies ran up in there because
I said they was
this
understaffed, man.
It's more than that, and that I'll leave that at that.
I don't think that's what it was. I don't
Who
think
said they understaffed, man?
Bro, no, to say
understaffed.
understaffed, the Capitol Police has a bigger budget and more members than the DC Police Department that's in their own city.
Bro, I already
Bro,
know. I'm
if you've
laughing at
ever
Tyson,
been
man.
to DC and you've ever been around the Capitol, bro, they will yell at you for standing on the sidewalk the wrong way. If you stand there too long, they yell at you.
I
say they wasn't ready.
I just don't think that whomever was in charge assumed that this was going to happen. That people were going to come up from that protest and basically storm the Capitol.
I'm kind of with Price on that, man. I think those kind of democratic conspiracies, because I hate the ones that come from the far left.
Bro, it ain't nothing but far left, bro. Turn on the TV. They reporting on it right now as we talking about it. Just turn on the TV.
You think
this ain't no stuff on Twitter?
My personal belief is they were not prepared as they were for the BLM movement, and they
why?
Right.
Why? That's the question, and that's my thing. There's
a
$1
million question.
Oh, I know why.
No, it's not $1 million question. That's the
because you got a group of, you just gotta say it. A group of, there's gonna be some black people. Well, they pull cops from 4-5 states over.
Yeah, I agree.
It's privilege. That's what it is. Like,
man, y'all boys smoking crack if y'all think that these people wasn't ready by surprise. Them people weren't ready because they didn't want to be ready.
The fact that
like James said, these folks broke in and they knew exactly where to go. How you know when
they were giving out
in there for an hour, bro? In the Capitol, I mean, you can venture around in there.
Right. All right then.
You can venture around. They didn't know where the people were actually being held, so they didn't know exactly.
I mean, yes, they did.
There's still secret departments in that mother.
Bro, they went directly next door to the vice president. The black dude that was waving the baton, he was looking down the hallway, looking at the president. That's the reason why he pushed the dude and ran the other direction, so they would keep the ball going after that direction.
Turn on the TV.
They know it, right?
Please
get off Facebook and turn on the TV, bro.
What gonna turn on the TV for? It's liberal media anyway.
No, it don't matter. It don't matter what side you watch. It don't matter what side you watch.
It don't. Unless it do. Well, if you watching Newsmax and Fox News,
I'm just talking about the facts. I ain't. Yeah. If you watching Fox News, you in trouble. But
I mean, even after all that, I mean, even after all that, breaking
Breitbart, all that.
They showed up to stop the counting of the electoral stuff. They vandalized stuff. People end up got 4 people dead. They said they found feces and pee all in the hallways. And after all that, these people got escorted out. That's all you need.
What did he? They making sure ladies okay walking down the stairs and shit.
That's all you need to hear.
That one shot in the face. I mean,
like they could have easily set up a perimeter and start getting people. I mean, think about even just any kind of festival that you've been into that some niggas got to fight or something like that. They set up a little perimeter and start funneling people to be like,
I got a quick question.
I got a
quick question. If they did have a intended coup, why was Pence in there?
Because he's supposed to get Trump earlier in the day. That's why
he's supposed to been doing the job. That's the reason why they went down there, because he's supposed to been doing that.
Man.
Trump was up there and saying,
"Wouldn't Pence be privy to the information? Like, hey, this is about to go down. You might not need to show up today."
He didn't agree with it.
He did. Trump gave him a command.
He would just show up, and he would just show up knowing that thousands of people finna storm the Capitol.
Man, I'm sure he was privy to it. I'm sure he'd be privy to
it. When you make Donald Trump mad, man, that dude, he could, he just come for anybody.
Throw you in the bus. Who loyal to Donald Trump?
Fellas. We gonna have to continue that one, man, next week, man.
Let's let
that want a part 2, let us know.
It ain't no conspiracy.
We get carried away, man.
Conspiracy.
The inauguration tomorrow, guys. I'm hoping that everybody is watching. Price, I'm sure is.
I'm hoping all y'all niggas stay home and stay safe. That's what I'm hoping.
home. There's a lot of talk about people in the U.S. getting raided and everything else. I don't know, man. People are losing their mind. We're in a divisive country, and you know, D, you watching the inauguration more?
Huh?
Are you watching the
Of
inauguration?
course, yeah. Yes, I'm watching. Of course, I'm watching.
Okay, well, we'll see how.
I'll be there. I feel like I might go turn on that old Jeezy again. You know what I'm saying? Let's turn on that old Jeezy.
Well, hey, y'all, we've come up on the last of it, man. We appreciate everybody watching. Vito, give us our handles again, man.
Your handles? What handles, man?
Social media handles, man.
Oh, yeah. Check out IGHBCU and then in covered. So HBCU uncovered. I mean HBC uncovered. And that's our IG. It's not much on there right now, but James supposed to take over. And he gonna make it all lovely and things like that. Check us out on Facebook. We had to do it under J-Star profile. You can't find all that stuff. Mine is easy HOVEDO. I'll direct you wherever you need to go. And that's all we got right now, guys. Spotify.
Hey man, y'all know we got to give a shout out though to an honorary HBCU member, T Diddy Cox on the is watching us right now. Just so y'all know, T Diddy watching. You gotta cut that jar and then scoop that jar.
Invited anytime.
That jar and scoop that jar, T Diddy.
Oh, we got Brandy to get in there. Look at Whitey coming too. Look at Whitey coming. Yes, sir. And I'm mad I ain't see y'all wives in here. What's up with that?
So, man, look,
my wife is doing a fast right now from social media. So.
Oh, okay.
She came in.
Well, hey, it's been good, y'all. We're gonna end it here if I can figure out how to stop this joker. So hey, what we all say?
HBCU, we out of here.
Out.
Peace.